Michelle Joy Phelps with Boxing Social in partnership with Forged Irish Stout, Empire Fight Store, and freebets.com. And I'm joined now with the one and only Gareth A. Davies. Gareth,
it's a lot to remember, isn't it? That was a lot to remember at the beginning of that. Good to see you too.
It only is, if I'm honest, when I'm jet lagged and so I'm like, I gotta get this right.
Yeah, the excuses. Hang on a minute. You've been jet lagging around the world for about, as far as I can recall, maybe about nearly 10 years now.
13.
13 doing this. So it's not an excuse.
No excuse.
No, but it isn't an excuse anymore, genuinely, because we actually live for these weeks, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, it's great to see you look very well, by the way. Yeah, well, I was going to say, probably the most glamorous looking, people have been saying, well, are you guys movie stars? Are you here for a dancing festival? Are you actually AI? Are you real?
Oh, goodness gracious. No, but it's
last time I saw you, I was kissing the back of your head.
Yeah, let's talk about that briefly.
Yeah, come on, let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
No, so,
let's explain what really happened.
All right, I was jet lagged. I had travelled overnight or whatever it was with Eddie Hearn to Quebec, and you were interviewing him, and you just came in for a greeting, but you were too busy interviewing. Ended up kissing the back of your head by mistake.
No, do you know like when somebody, like, you don't know if the hug's going to be a kiss too, or is it what is it? Do you know what I mean? I think it was one of those things where when we hug.
No, or a kind of an air kiss. Yeah.
You know, like when I saw you earlier, it's kiss, it's a side thing. You know,
exactly.
It's the UK European thing to do.
No, but it was a definitely turn. But you didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
I think
so I
you turned your
my
back,
head,
and I ended up kissing the back of your head, and then I got trolled. For look at you trying to kiss the back of her head. What will you do next? And how is the back of your head? Is it all right?
Yeah, I mean, I just kissed yours in the last interview, so I think we're even. we're even now then. Big week though.
Yeah, big week.
For Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. Like, what do you
begin at the beginning?
Yeah. What do you make of the fight? First of all, happening in general, because I know at one stage Francis Ngannou shocked the world against Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury's even said in an interview he did a lot better, I think, than anybody expected. What do you expect with Francis Ngannou against Anthony Joshua, who kind of knows now what to expect from Francis Ngannou? Yeah,
he's an anomaly, a mystery. He's always going to be. But what we know is that he's got some boxing skills. He's a very tough man, amazing story. No one's put a dent in it. You're in America, you see a lot of MMA, you know about Francis, you don't necessarily cover it, but he's got a reputation as a real tough guy with an amazing story. Fury maybe didn't take him seriously, or wasn't told to take him seriously by that kind of, not internally or his team, but the world didn't want to take it seriously. So he got shocked. It was a shock. He won in the eyes of many fans. He was a winner on the night, there's no question about it. And he made himself a player in the division. But there's 30 minutes of data on him now. We know he can box, we know he's tough, he's hard to hurt. Fury knocked him back a couple of times. Joshua should have the wherewithal to deal with him, chop down a big oak tree. If he doesn't put a dent in him, as they haven't with MMA gloves, 4-ounce MMA gloves, Michelle, Joshua may start to question himself in the fight, but that's where Ben Davison comes in. And so it's a great fight, and the biggest debate in boxing that we've had for many, many years is going to be, if Ngannou wins, should he rightfully be fighting for the undisputed title next, being 1-1 in his career? Yes, he's got a body of work and not just 2 fights in boxing, but there's jeopardy in so many ways in this fight week.
He is, I guess he's a big wild card in the heavyweight division. I think that he could disrupt a lot of future plans that I think that we're all crossing our fingers hoping to get, which is Anthony Joshua against the winner of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk.
No, we want to see Joshua against Fury, don't we? It's one of those fights in the division that needs to happen. Yes, it would be interesting to see Joshua against Usyk for a third time, and he may even do better this time. And I agree with Ben Davison, he's got better every time. And a third fight, he may do it. Usyk may just have his number, but I think if we end up with Ngannou against Usyk, it's not what the world really wants. I mean, it's not what we've been building towards for 4 or 5 years. It didn't. I mean, remember, we were, I think 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were about to see Fury against Joshua in the Middle East. We were like weeks away from it, and then Deontay Wilder won his arbitration case. And we got 3 terrific fights out of Fury and Wilder, of course. But look, I think the key is that the money's in play, the promoters are all in play, they're all working together. You know, when you go back to America now, for you, it's you know, the Haneys and the Garcias and the Tank Davis and the PBC and Amazon Prime and Oscar De La Hoya is working closely with Eddie Hearn on DAZN, and it's moving. It's moving. That weight division between 140 and 147 and even maybe 154, that's where America's got its best fighters at the moment. The heavyweights are tied up over here. There's other weights in the UK and Japan, and but this thing here, underwritten, we're in our 3rd event here, that's what's weird. And I know you spent weeks and weeks out here with the football as well. Congratulations on that. Very good job. You know, we're only in our 3rd event, but it feels like boxing's been interrupted in a really good way, you know? And it feels stimulated, it feels exciting.
What do you make of Tyson Fury's recent interview with the Stomping Ground, where he talked a bit about how Francis Ngannou should be basically thanking him for making him?
I don't know. I mean, I think he was playing the words there a little bit, because in some ways Francis Ngannou made himself. He produced the performance. He wasn't given the performance by Tyson Fury, so I don't really buy that. But I will say, I was out in Thailand, that interview with little cheeky Charlie Parsons, who's now stomping all over the world, isn't he? With Wow Hydrate. Maybe I shouldn't be pushing that too hard. Used to be on Boxing Social.
No, all is well though.
No, me too. And in fact, I've done an interview with him on the Stomping Ground. I think it's coming out later. But you know, I think Francis Ngannou took his own chance. That their names will be indelibly linked together. Maybe they'll meet for a second time, Fury and Ngannou. I hope so. I mean, if Fury does fight 5 more times, he says, but I don't agree with those actual words that you said, which is that he's not fit to lace his boots or whatever. What did you say that he's got him to thank?
Do you want me to actually read the full quote?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, because I actually screenshot it, because I hate misquoting.
Yeah, I'd like to know the actual quote.
So this is exactly what Tyson said. He said, "I'm not sure what people expected of the man before our fight. I know it was supposed to be like a 1,000 to 1 shot, and he was useless, and he couldn't fight and all of that, but he proved everyone wrong. So fantastic for him. I put him on the map, made him a multi-millionaire, and now I'm making him even more money, so he needs to thank me. He needs to get on his knees and kiss my feet, doesn't he, for what I've done for him."
That's just Tyson talking.
Yeah.
I mean, some of that I agree with, some of that I don't. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to get on his knees and kiss his feet, and nor should he. But I'd like to see them fight again at some point.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
But look,
isn't that what Francis even said? He said that was on the horizon.
I think it will be, and I think they're relishing that fight. His team want the second fight. I think it's a very different fight. I've got to say that second time around, because as I say, Fury looks in phenomenal shape right now. Everyone's giving me shit for calling it 6-pack, but he's definitely got a 12-pack,
4 to a 6 going on there.
No, he's got a 12-pack or an 18. He's an extraordinarily giant human being, isn't he? Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk a bit about the relationship now between Anthony Joshua and Ben Davison. Obviously, what makes it really fascinating is the potential that if Anthony Joshua does go on to fight Tyson Fury, you know, there was that Ben Davison-Tyson Fury link up at one point, and then now he's with Anthony Joshua. You know, that definitely plays into the storyline a little bit.
Oh, doesn't it? I mean, you can't get that answer from Ben at the moment either. Yeah. He's really not sure whether he can actually commit on that till the result is out of this one on Friday night. And then we'll see, I suppose. Well, or maybe he won't commit till we see the results on May the 18th of Fury and Usyk. But it's a difficult one for him. He's always been friends with Tyson Fury, but as I remind him, it's business.
Yeah, I mean,
it's business. It's sport at the end of the day. And what Ben Davison did for Tyson Fury, what Tyson Fury did for Ben Davison in terms of elevating him into the higher echelons of the sport is brilliant. They did great things for each other. Ben was very loyal and very committed to Tyson. I mean, I met them both out in Marbella at the MTK gym when Tyson was 28, starting talking like this, like a growling old tiger, you know.
And Ben was working with Billy Joe at the time
working
too.
with Billy.
Yep.
I always tell the story. I went for a 6-mile run on the beach with Tyson. It was easy. I could walk. I mean, we were all walking slowly. It was in the evening, we were running through the blooming fountains and everything. We had a great time. And much at the behest of Billy as well, who's a crazy thing. And I followed that journey, and Tyson gave me some brilliant insight into his mind at that time about how he'd felt suicidal and how he felt dark. But what Ben helped him do, obviously Tyson did it, but Ben lived with him in his house for 11 months. That's a real commitment.
Yeah.
It's a real commitment.
Yeah.
You know? And we've seen the Netflix series, so you know it's a real commitment.
we know Tyson.
Yeah, we do.
No, but with Ben Davison, what we did see in this last fight, Anthony Joshua's last fight against Otto Wallin, was, and I say this respectfully, but it was like watching not an older version, but a more matured, seasoned version of himself before he lost to Andy Ruiz, where he wasn't afraid to let his hands go. He wasn't afraid to take any risk. Where I think for a moment there we did see that.
He wasn't afraid to take risks.
Yes.
You mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now that's what we're seeing. We're seeing him, I guess, in some way rebuild his confidence and becoming the monster that we know that he is in the ring. What do you make of that? Because it's really nice to be able to see a trainer pull that out of him.
Well, I agree with you. I think you've got it spot on. I think the key is that it was a much more technical performance from a destroyer. He looked like a mature fighter. He had a game plan in his mind. It worked. He didn't have to go to plan B, and that's what I'm saying about Anthony, though. The game plan worked perfectly. Technically, it's the best performance I've seen him in at that level. And you know, you've got to. I don't care what people say. Otto Wallin went 12 rounds on Tyson Fury. But the thing is with Joshua, when Joshua hits you, he hits you hard. And you know, Wallin had his nose broken in that fight. Sutures on his face afterwards. He was cut up and broken. If Joshua, this is why he's dangerous against Ngannou, and he may finish him early. If he fights Ngannou like that, quickly with vim and vigour, and busts him up and puts him in a whole world of pain and makes Ngannou desperate, he can finish him early, finish anyone early. But you're right. The guy we saw against Otto Wallin is the guy we wanted to see from fight 17 to 25 or whatever. Fight 17 was when he beat Charles Martin. A bit later on, those fights between Andy Ruiz, one, and now really, you know, I think again, I get Ben Davison's desire to want to fight Usyk a third time because he can see holes in the door and openings in the door that they can exploit with Anthony Joshua against Usyk. And I think, you know, I can't say more than you did. You know, in terms of saying that, looked like a mature fighter who knew his way around the ring, had his clear game plan, but I do think it all comes down to Joshua and Davison having a great relationship. And I think that's reflected in the Davison-Fury relationship. And I've just spent some time in camp with Ben. He lives quite near me. You've been to my house, actually. He lives about half an hour away. It works about half an hour away. And, you know, I've got to be honest with you, I've got real time for Ben as a trainer because I think he's able to get inside the minds of his fighters. He's able to coach them really well. He's able to express himself and get what he wants them to do as a team. And Ben's also got a very, very good guy in Lee Wiley who comes up with strategy with him. He's got all the data on other fighters.
Francis Ngannou, he's not exactly banking on a knockout, but he does believe that he could knock out Anthony Joshua just based on, I think he said that he could send him to the canvas sooner than he sent Tyson Fury. I think he said something along the lines in an interview a few months back. Do you believe in your heart of hearts that this fight goes the distance? Do you believe that it's someone stops someone?
In my heart of hearts, I go over loads of different plays of the fight, Michelle. So, in my heart of hearts, I think someone's going to get hurt in this fight. In my heart of hearts, I see three things. I see Ngannou, I'll do it in this order. I see Joshua busting him up and stopping him late. I see Joshua winning on points and getting through, and just getting through on points at the end with Ngannou coming back. or I see Ngannou clipping him. And I wonder if how he's going to recover and how he's going to look. It could be a most amazing fight with them both going down. There's so many things that can happen in this fight. They're both incredibly powerful. I think Ngannou's got a chance because of the history of Joshua, because of that Ruiz defeat, basically. And people always look at that. And against Klitschko, but against Klitschko he came back a lot better. I heard that quote from Ngannou. I spoke to Ngannou, I've got an interview out with him just now in the Telegraph, and he said, if you're asking me, do I knock him out? Yes, I believe I can knock him out. If you're asking me, am I going to try and knock him out? No, I'm not trying to knock him out. The knockout will come if the knockout comes. They're going in there to box. They're going in there having prepared for 30 minutes against him, like they did against Tyson Fury. I think he'll throw his hands at the same time as Joshua. He'll stay patient, try and time Joshua. When Joshua comes in to throw, he's going to try and throw off it. Whether he will be able to, I don't know, because I think Joshua hits harder than Fury. But it's a great prospect.
Great.
Let's not miss the grand arrival. So.
No, I know. One last question, if you don't. Do you want to continue this there then?
No,
or do you want one more? I think we have time, right? 20? We have time. Oh snap! Well, maybe we should wrap it up because I think the final bus is.
Wrap it up, Phelps. Wrap it up.
Let's continue this because I actually have 3 other topics I want to talk to you about.
Where do you want to do it?
At the Boulevard.
Okay, we'll do it at the Boulevard.
We'll do it there.
Let's do it.
Okay, thank you. Bye, fans.